Right now, in farmyards and fence lines across the country, 3 diesel pickups are quietly outrunning trucks a third their age, and not one of them is still being built. Not because they failed, because the government made them illegal to build. I've been turning wrenches for 23 years. And here's what nobody tells you: the toughest diesel pickups ever made all died for the same reason: emissions rules. The engineering was never the problem. A modern $80,000 diesel is buried under a particulate filter, a DEF tank, and sensors that strand you the day the warranty ends, then hand you a repair bill that reads like a mortgage payment when one of them fails. The 3 trucks I'm about to show you carry none of that. They were the last of their kind. Buy the right one, and it'll still be starting every morning long after the truck in your neighbor's driveway has been scrapped. And the last one on this list, number 1, is the truck diesel guys quietly hunt for. Because there's an exact 18-month window where GM built something they were never allowed to build again. Most owners don't even know which years to look for. Stay with me for that. Let's start with number 3. Number 3 is the Chevrolet CK 2500. The 3/4-ton Chevy and GMC pickups built from 1982 to 1993, with the 6.2-liter Detroit diesel under the hood. A customer of mine, Wayne, a retired county road worker, has an 89 with 270,000 miles on it. He paid $3,500, drives it every day, and it has never once left him on the shoulder. The knock on this truck is that it's slow, and it is. This engine was built to sip fuel, not win stoplights. But here's what almost nobody knows about it. That same 6.2-liter diesel didn't just live in these pickups. It went into GM's Suburbans and work vans, and most famously, into the military's Humvee. When the Army needed something that would fire up in a sandstorm and run for years on bad fuel and no mercy, this is the motor they chose. It's the same Detroit diesel family that, a few years later, sat under the civilian H1 that movie stars were paying 6 figures for. War truck, celebrity status symbol, and your $4,000 work pickup, all running the same humble diesel. GM quietly sold you the tank version with a bed on the back and a bench seat. Remember that the next time somebody tells you a diesel has to be complicated to be tough. The check before you buy is simple. These last forever, unless they overheat. So watch the temperature gauge on the test drive and make sure the oil under the cap isn't a milky mess. Find one that ran cool its whole life, and you've got a diesel for $3,000 to $6,000 that'll outlast every DEF choked truck on the dealer's lot. But if you want one built like an actual industrial machine, that's number 2. Number 2 is the Ford F-250 from 1983 to 1987. With the 6.9-liter IDI diesel. A guy named Hank brings his 86 into my shop for oil changes and nothing else. It wears a plow all winter. It's got 310,000 miles on it, and the engine has never been opened. People write this truck off because it's slow and it rattles like a tractor. Fair. But here's the part they miss. Ford didn't even build this engine. International Harvester did. The same company that built America's school buses and medium-duty work trucks. The exact diesel that hauled kids up hills for 20 years is the one bolted into this Ford. You're not buying a pickup engine, you're buying a school bus engine that happens to have a truck wrapped around it. A motor designed to idle under load for an entire career. That's why an iron block like this shrugs off 500,000 miles. The one thing to check, old diesels like this hate the cold. So make sure every glow plug works and it starts without a fight on a freezing morning. And look for oil or coolant weeping at the heads. And because these are 40-year-old trucks now, crawl the frame and cab corners for rust before you fall for the engine. On an old Ford, the body usually quits long before the diesel does. Find one that spent its life somewhere dry, and you've bought a truck your grandkids could still be driving. Clean ones go for $5,000 to $8,000. Now, number 1. This is the one I told you to wait for. Number 1 is the 2006 to 2007 Chevrolet Silverado 2500 HD and its twin, the GMC Sierra. with the 6.6-liter Duramax LBZ. A younger guy named Cody pulls a gooseneck trailer for work with his '06. He bought it used at 190,000 miles. Everyone warned him a diesel that old was a gamble, and he's past 310,000 now on nothing but maintenance. He gets offers to sell it almost every week and turns every one of them down. He tells me he's not about to give up the last good diesel he'll ever own. Here's the first thing nobody realizes: that Chevy diesel isn't really a Chevy at all. The Duramax was designed by Isuzu, yes, the Japanese company, in a partnership with GM. So the most reliable diesel GM ever put in a pickup was engineered by the same people who build some of the toughest commercial trucks on earth. GM stamped the bow tie on the cover. Isuzu did the hard part. That's why these shrug-off work that grenades lesser diesels. They were built by people who make machines for a living, not for a spec sheet. GM built this particular version stronger than any Duramax before it, bolted it to the legendary Allison automatic, and sent it out the door making 360 horsepower and towing like a freight train, while still running 300,000 plus miles without drama. One more thing for the hunters: a 2007 with the 6-speed manual instead of the Allison is the rarest version there is. The last year GM ever put a stick behind a Duramax. Most sellers don't even know to mention it. Before you buy, the check here is rust, not the engine. Get underneath and look hard at the frame, the bed corners, and the brake lines. Because on a truck this age, the body dies long before that motor does. Expect to pay $18,000 to $30,000 for a clean one. Yes, that's more than some new trucks, and the people who own them pay it without blinking, because a clean LBZ holds its value better than almost anything on the road. The good ones have actually climbed in price. This is one of the few trucks that stopped depreciating and started paying you back, because here's why they guard this exact truck. The LBZ was built for 2006 and only the first half of 2007. Then the emissions law changed, and GM was forced to replace it with a diesel wearing a particulate filter. The first piece of the very hardware that makes new diesels fragile and expensive. This was the last Duramax GM was ever legally allowed to build without any of it. That's why a clean one can sell the same afternoon it's listed, posted in the morning, gone by dinner, because the people hunting them know exactly what these two model years mean. That 18-month window is the whole secret, and it isn't a range people memorize. It's a range they guard. Find a clean one, and you're not buying a used truck. You're buying the last honest diesel GM was ever permitted to make.